श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासवती श्री गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
These are some of the aspects of the analytical study of intelligence
described in both the Patanjali Yoga system and the Sankhya philosophy system of Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Namo Shivaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesha Shrinyavati Prashati Deshatani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna. So here Kapila Dev is continuing his philosophical speech or his philosophical lecture to his mother, Devhuti. As you know, the philosophy itself, is the subject matter itself is very, very fast and very, very deep. It's very, very technical to understand. The more we get into it, the more it confuses us. Why does it confuse us? Because the knowledge we have grabbed from this material knowledge, we make a frame out of it and we try to put all the spiritual knowledge into that frame and sees where it fits. That confuses us. Because spiritual knowledge is so vast that we cannot even imagine how vast it is. At some level, we just need to adapt it the way it is. Because it is out of our material experiences. Here in this lecture, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that we have got to know that scientists, or you can say doctor, somewhere has reached what is the function of the mind. They say thinking, willing and feeling. But we don't know, is there anywhere they have reached to intelligence and find out whether that intelligence has any function to it. But here we can see the Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives the elaborate answer. All the questions here. Now in this verse and yesterday's verse, it's talking about the characteristics of our intelligence. And that intelligence is not only just a material, it's talking about the spiritual intelligence. Let me read out for you yesterday's verse so we can hold the thread. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. O virtuous lady, the function of intelligence, now it's talking about the characteristics. The function of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of object when they come into view and to help the senses. And now today's verse says, first thing, doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehensions, memory and sleep. These are the important functions of the intelligence. These are the really important function of the intelligence. But can we see here, Prabhupada starts his purport while explaining that doubt is very, very important. Okay, it is a sign of the person is very intelligent because he never heard those things. So after hearing the lecture or some kind of a talk spiritual, he inquire about it. Okay, but in also that sense, that doubting must be in a very learning mood, not in a challenging mood. Because if you are approaching your teacher or somebody who is superior to you in your spiritual knowledge, you cannot challenge or give them a hard time while asking question. I don't believe, I've never been taught in my schools and universities. But Baba, this type of knowledge is not been taught in the schools and universities. What you have learned, that is all related to your bodily conception, which is material knowledge. But these type of the subjects matter, you only learn from a spiritual person. Somewhere that spiritualist can give an example of material things to make you understand that this is happening, what we are seeing, it's already there in the spiritual world. And in chapter 5 Bhagavad Gita, which is the Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme, it talks about that this world is all about what? Looks like a banyan tree. There is a tree there originally, but there is also a shadow here. What we are seeing here, the love, the friendship, or the enjoyment, whatever you say, it is just the shadow of the real thing which is already there in the spiritual world. So how do we understand everything? Who will help us? Only the sadhus, the devotees of the Lord. When Srila Prabhupada came here, many people was pointing about, do you think that, people are not intelligent, and some classes of species, you say they are not intelligent. They are very less intelligent. Is that what you mean there? Prabhupada says, no. Whoever is chanting Hare Krishna, he is 100% intelligent. because you are seeing them as on a bodily platform. Because as a spirit soul, there is no gender. Spirit soul has no gender. According to their karma, the spirit soul comes into the being and takes the form of a male or a female in different species. It's not only in human. There's a she dog, there's a he dog, there's a she pig, there's a he pig. But the same way in a human also, there's a male, there's a female. So this distinction is always there. So how do we understand all these things? Only by taking the shelter of these Vedic scriptures, which have been there since time immemorial. Otherwise, who will help us out? Because we have been already taught how to enjoy our senses to the extent where we get dissatisfied. But senses are like wildfire. You can say that. It just, the more you put the ghee in there, the more you put the oil in there, it will not extinguish the fire. It will just spread like anything. It is just spread like anything here. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 66, Lord Krishna says very beautifully, the person who is not connected to Krishna consciousness, he always has bewildering or material intelligence or unsteady mind. Let me read out this for you. Naste buddhir ayuktasya na chayutaksya bhavana na cha bhavayataha shantir ashantasya kutha sukham. One who is not connected to the Supreme or in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any peace, any happiness without the peace? No doubt, people are here intelligent. We don't say they are not intelligent. Like somebody has made this iPhone, somebody has made this microphone and stand and a table and everything. Yes, intelligence are there. We are not, denying there is no intelligence. People are, going to Chandrayaan, moon is there. They are making airplanes. They are making so many other things to facilitate us. We appreciate their effort. But those discovery or a creation is helping you out to get out of this material world? No, not at all. Many times Srila Prabhupada has mentioned the real intelligence or the spiritual intelligence is to inquire, why am I suffering here? What is the purpose of my existence? Where am I going to after this life? These are the intelligent questions a person asks. There are two types of intelligence. One is material, one is spiritual intelligence. Materially, we can say people are doing wonderful jobs here. Wonderful creations are happening. But what are you going to do with those appreciation which is not helping you out to get out of this material world? That doesn't make any sense. When they see any sadhu, any devotee or any spiritual practitioner not enjoying like them, so they criticize, are you guys serious? Are you not having fun here in this material world? Look at that, so many boyfriend, girlfriends, so many, liquors are there, so many this type of things are there. But that is not the real enjoyment. We are already intoxicated enough by the material energy. Why do we need more intoxication? Anyway, without drinking, we are not able to make a good decisions, a good, distinguishes between what is good for us and what is not good for us. That's why we are putting ourselves into the problems here, into the greatest danger. The right way to get out of this type of a problem, Lord has mentioned, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tarma Sarve Pape Bheo Mokshayashmi Mahasucha. Just give up all type of religion, all type of dharma. So what is those type of dharma? Is that dharma talking about Hinduism? Dharma talking about Christianity? Muslim? No, this is not dharma. The dharma which is not helping you to progress to love of Godhead, that dharma we should give up. That's where Lord is saying. And just surrender into Him. But how to surrender? The next process comes. Lord says, surrender into me, which is very nice. We are going to do. So what is the procedure? How to surrender? That's where the intelligent questions comes next. How to surrender? Lord Krishna. And that's Bhagavad Gita 4.34. He mentions, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena paripashnena seveya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninan tattva darshina. You need to approach a self-realized person, a transcendentalist, for this type of inquiries. And what is the right way? You have to render service to him first. Without taking anyone's favor or anyone's help, there is a rule. The rule is you must do some seva to him or her. Then you can put your inquiry, sir, I want this favor from you. Then this person will be pleased by that. Not just go and straight away ask, can you do this for me? Make sure you also have done some service for them. Then there is a very loving reciprocation. So when you do any kind of service to the transcendentalist, to your spiritual master, then you have to put your inquiry in a very submissive or in a very learning mood. That I really want to know, I really want to learn and apply in my life. And by seeing your attitude in a submissive and obedient way, what he does? He imparts or injects the knowledge into you. That is the right way to gain the knowledge. And when Krishna sees that person is following the proper process, what he does? Who will quote Bhagavad Gita? Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upyantite. Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Very beautifully. Tesham satatayuktanam. Those who are always engaged in what? Bhajatam priti purva. In my service, in my worship, with how? Priti purvakam. Love and devotion. And when I see the sincerity, the endeavor of that particular living entity, then I do my magic. And what is that magic? Dadami buddhi. Dadami means, Krishna says, I give. Buddhi means intelligence. Then I give him the real transcendental or spiritual intelligence. So, mam upayanti says, so he can come back to me. He can come back to me by doing that simple process. And everything is already mentioned there. We just need to apply in our life. But being conditioned for so many billions and billions of lifetime, which is like uncountable, we are not surrendered. The bhakti is all about surrender. Here. Are you guys ready to do? Are we ready to surrender? Because that is the need. Bhakti means surrender. Following the instructions being given in the scriptures. But if we are not able to follow the instructions in our local temple, so where is the question to following the instruction of a guru, which he may or may not sing, or Krishna is seeing everything because he is a Upadakshanu but he's not saying anything. He has given you the independent to do your thing. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. That's what he said to Arjuna. Arjuna heard the whole Bhagavad Gita. He understood. He put everything on the table for Arjuna. This is what it is. This is what it is. He says, Arjuna, yatha ichhasi tatha guru. Whatever you desire, you now do. I will not force you for anything. But Arjuna was so surrendered to the process. He says, no. I will immediately surrender to you things. Because whenever you surrender to Lord Krishna, then other 18.68, which is the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanudara Tatra Shriyu Vijyo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, a great Yogeshwara, the master of all the yogas, where there is a great archer, Arjuna, then everything falls in your basket, in your coat. Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Victory is there, morality is there, name is there, fame is there, opulence is there, and you will go back to Godhead. Just simple to think, simple to follow. Because mind is not ready to follow. That's the main problem. We do promise to our spiritual master, we do promise to our authorities here, yes, whatever you say, we will do it. But somewhere we just lack to follow it. And then who suffers for that? Nobody else. We only suffer for that. Can you imagine? Just try one day. Whatever the authorities say, you just follow. And after following, you pick up your bead and start chanting and see how much taste you will relish from that Hare Krishna Mahamantra when you do that. So much nectar. it comes from your mouth, and so much relief or a peace you will find in your heart. That's what 2.66 says. Where there is no happiness, how can you find the peace? Where there is no peace, how can you find the happiness? Because peace means it's not we are seeing externally, peace has to come from within. If you are satisfied, if you are satisfied with your own activity, then it satisfies Krishna. Then Krishna bestows all his blessings upon us. But he also sees the individual effort, endeavor, how much endeavor you are doing for me to get. Like Arjuna was there, in the battlefield. When he was totally perplexed, he doesn't know how to utilize his intelligence. What he did? Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma samud chetaha yash rashaya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste aham sadhi mam tamam prapannam. Oh my Lord, I don't know what is good and what is bad for me at this position. I have lost everything, all my memories, all my intelligence, all are gone. Kindly help me. This soul is surrendering at your lotus feet. Please help me. Please guide me. That is the right attitude. And when he heard that whole spiritual knowledge, did he sit back? No. What he did? He performed his prescribed duty very well under the direction of Lord Krishna. Yuddhas chaiva mam anusparan. You perform your duty while thinking of me. That's what we all have to do. Whatever the services has been designated to us, we need to perform it to please our authority, whatever we can do with our heart, and then leave it on Krishna. And while doing that service, you need to think about him. Arjuna, you are a warrior, you need to fight, keep fighting. And can you see how when he was fighting, what was his condition? He was bleeding from everywhere. He was being pierced by arrows. On his shoulder, on his chest, on his arm, on his legs, everywhere. And he was perspiring like anything. He was so tired. Because whole day, 10, 12 hours, he has to fight on the field. He was bleeding, he was wounded, he was perspiring. But he didn't say, Krishna, you gave me the spiritual knowledge and I thought I'll be very peaceful. But he was giving service to the Lord. He was working under the direction of the Lord. He was giving pleasure to him, not he was giving pleasure to himself. That's why he was rendering for 10, 12, 15 hours a day. That's what it is. When you start giving the pleasure to the senses of the Lord, then the magic comes in your life. But that's also required spiritual intelligence. Okay? Have a look here. This is Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Picture of Bhagavad Gita. In different ways, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned this whole chariot, including Krishna and Arjuna and the horses, they are considered as a body. Already? They're considered as a body. And these 5 horses are considered to senses. 5 senses. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin. They are considering. And they are connected to one rope, one reins. And that has rein which is considered to mind. Okay? And Arjuna is considered to as a soul who is sitting on a body. But that rein is controlled by whom? By a chariot driver. Okay? There is a driver there. And driver is considered to whom? An intelligence. Intelligence holds the rein, which is mind, control the mind, and mind control the senses, and senses control the matter. In Bhagavad Gita, I think it's in chapter 3 or chapter 2, I forgot that, which is a verse, where they say senses are superior to dull matter. Mind still superior to senses. Intelligence is superior to mind. And soul is superior to intelligence. And the super soul is superior to soul. So what Arjuna did, we have to follow exactly his step. Between the soul and the mind, there is a gap. There is a position. It's a position of a driver, of an intelligence. So he requested Krishna, kindly take up this position and control my mind. He gave the reins, which is mind, in the hand of Krishna. So we have to keep on that position in the intelligence, Bhagavad Gita, and all other Vedic Vaishnav literature such as Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and many other favorable scriptures. So when we keep those instruction in the position, because there is no difference between Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna. There's no difference. He has come in his literature incarnation. Krishne sodhamopagate dharma jnana adibhisaha kalau nashta drisha esha puranarko adinoditaha. When Krishna left, then dharma, jnana, everything just gone with him. And we have been left in this Kali Yuga with the darkness. Then who will show us the light? Puranarko adhinoditaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam becomes the light to show the path of the self-realization to all a lost living entity. And it is a literature incarnation of Lord Krishna. So you have to put that in the seat of intelligence, in the seat of charioteer, and let the intelligence, spiritual intelligence, deal with it. Because he is Rishikesha, he is the master of the senses. So if he is the master, so let him control. Why you are controlling and try to be a controller? That's where the problem comes. Which is the verse in Nectar of Devotion where it says you have to engage your senses. Yathashi Krishna Nam Adi Na Bhaved Graham India. That we cannot understand the spiritual knowledge and Lord Krishna through our senses. Like he has been known by 4 different things. Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. And these 4 things you cannot understand with your material or contaminated senses. Now, Bhaved Graham Indriya, you cannot grab them through your senses because we have different senses gives you a different knowledge. If you see, there is a knowledge or an indication goes to your mind or to intelligence. When you touch something, there is an indication goes whether it's cold or hot. When you touch something, there is something else. So this type of Indriya gives you different type of informations to your intelligence and your mind. But how can you understand the spiritual thing with your material contaminated senses? Not possible. So the 3rd and 4th line says, Sevano mukhe hi jivado, swayam eva sufirti ada. You have to give your service, seva, with your mukha. What kind of seva can you give from your mukha? Eating prasadam is one thing. And then chanting the holy name, either personally as a japa or with a congregation chanting, like as a kirtan. And then, what else can you do? You can glorify the Krishna while giving lectures, going to people's home, educating them, meeting everybody on the street, educating them. There's the sevano mukhehi jivado, because everything starts from the mouth. When you start doing that, then swayam eva sufurti, then automatically you start seeing the knowledge is emanating in your heart, in your life, automatically by the blessing of Krishna. Here Srila Prabhupada is saying, in the beginning, it is very, very good to doubt. But do not doubt on the proper authority. Because when you doubt on the proper authority, what will happen to you? Na gati kutahopi. There will be not your final or supreme destination or designation. We have so much faith. We have so much faith on this. The Maya gives us so many happiness in forms of different things. You just watch television, you just watch social, sites and everything. There's so many allurement of bombarding our mind and intelligence. Buy this, take this, buy this, go there, eat this, that. So many things are coming to make us, you will be happy. But are we really happy? But we have so much faith because it has been put on Facebook, it has been put on the television. Oh yes, they are talking about the supreme truth. But you people are talking about this type of thing. Have you ever seen it? Do you believe all this old school knowledge? This is not old school knowledge. It has only one version. They have no many versions of spiritual knowledge. There is no version of Bhagavad Gita, second Bhagavad Gita. Every now and then we get update on our phone, iPad or our laptops. Update. How many times do I have to update? Every day you open this new update of it. but there is no update. What he spoke, the knowledge of spiritual life to the sun god, he spoke to Arjuna. And now Srila Prabhupada has given to the disciplic line the same Bhagavad Gita as it is. So it is a problem not to accept it. It is our volunteer decision whether we really want to get out of this world or we really want to achieve love of God in this life. We need to do a very hard work. And that requires intelligence. And this intelligence is been sharpened only when we read Swadhyaya. When we read Swadhyaya, Srila Prabhupada says, if you people don't have enough spiritual intelligence, borrow it, those who have it. I'll say it again. If you don't have spiritual intelligence, how to proceed towards spiritual life, borrow it. How to borrow? Borrow from spiritual master and borrow from Vedic scriptures. Because they are spiritually enlightened. They are completely 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. That's how you can borrow the intelligence from others. See, many times we have problems and we don't know how to rectify the problem or solve the problem. What we do? We approach any senior Vaishnava or to approach Srila Prabhupada, or we hear some lecture or read some books and we get the answer of that. I say, oh my God, I didn't think about that. It is such a beautiful... I was thinking it's just a big mountain of problem for me, but it seems like what do you call that? Baby calf's hoof print. It's so small. I can cross it over only by the blessings of Krishna. When he sees the sincere and within the heart, and the next verse of 10.10, which is 10.11, is the next verse where Lord says, I do what? I light the lamp of knowledge in the heart of a sincere soul. Jnane deepena hirde. In the heart, I lit the light of a knowledge. So he sees this. Sometimes we feel alone. There is no one there to help us out, to whom we can discuss our spiritual matter. But when Krishna sees that Jiva is sincerely praying to me, he enlightens, he gives the path within the heart. To listen to Super Soul, you have to be qualified for that. It's not everyone can do it. Krishna sees, he sees the qualification, the eligibility. He is ready to give himself to us, but he sees whether you are qualified or not. We have to make ourselves qualified. We have to make ourselves qualified to take his blessings, to take the blessings of the Vaishnava, of the spiritual master. It's not that so easy. It requires really intelligence. And that intelligence, I would always compare to an axis. If the axis is so sharp, what you do, it is easy for you to cut the tree. But if you use over the period of time and you don't sharp your axis, what will happen? It will be very hard for you to cut the tree. But if you do cut and again you go back home and sharp the axis with the stone, then you come back again, it takes you less time to cut the tree. In a similar way, when we read books, okay, and we engage ourselves in the practice, that means we are sharpening our intelligence. And when we go out for preaching, we can cut the Maya. Otherwise, Maya will cut us. I always says, I mention 3S in everyone's spiritual practitioner's life. Sadhana, Seva, and Swadhyaya. There are 3S for everyone's important. If you're lacking of any of these things, your intelligence will be material or a blur, or you are just dragging yourself or fulfilling the quota which you promised to your spiritual master. Sadhana, which is the whole morning program. It is so important. It looks like a burden on us, but it is not a burden. It giving us so much strength to fight against the Maya. I've been here for like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. I can feel the heat here. It's so extraordinary. I mean, oh baapre, phew, it's so heavy here. The impact of Maya is so heavy. I mean, people are so harsh here, it's so they can't speak, very flowery words or very soft words. Always they are ready to burn everything with their words. I just been to, bank there. And Prabhu was with me, and Prabhu said something, and this lady, she just blasted herself. And I told him, I said, is there any customer satisfaction form? Like a feedback. I just want to write it. And they said, they don't even give a damn here. He said, nobody bothers. But if you go to Australia and other places, they always say, sir, how was my service? Because they get the appraisal for the next year. And if you write anything bad, they will lose their job. Because customer satisfaction is so important. But how do we fight with this, harsh world? Especially here, like many senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, those who comes there in Melbourne, I spoke to them, Ki Maharaj, I'm just moving there now. Maharaj says it's a different world. It's very, very harsh. You need to be stronger in your sadhana, otherwise they will take you away. They are very well. Here is a different mentality. But how do we know? How can we need to read everything? Sadhana is so important. Morning program, chanting, Guru Puja, listening Srimad Bhagavatam every day, and then go to your work. Of course, after eating breakfast. I'm not saying empty stomach you should go. And then your seva, whatever seva has been designated, you try to fulfill it at the best you can do. And then swadhyaya, reading, scriptures. These are the three as will protect you from everywhere. Okay, there are 6-7 minutes to go. I'm looking forward to have some questions. Janki Mataji has some. If you can give her a microphone, it would be nice. Seva, sadhana, and swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means reading Vedic scriptures.
Hare Krishna.
Is that what was your question, or okay, you have different?
Such a nice class.
Prabhupada ki jai, yeah.
I was just wondering because you say that doubt is good. Prabhupada says doubt is good when you don't know.
Yeah.
But then when you find the proper source, then doubt is not favorable.
Yeah.
But it seems like doubt is not something that you can really control, because if you don't have the intelligence, then the doubt is there. And I was just thinking about, in my experience, like coming through Krishna consciousness and reading more and hearing more. Now, I can read something in Bhagavatam that I have zero understanding of, cannot even fathom a little bit in my mind.
Yes.
And I can still read it and say, yeah, okay, I can accept it.
Yeah.
And so my question is, how does doubt and intelligence, how are they affected by faith?
Faith, yeah. So, see, Srila Prabhupada also writes, and you also have the same question that's in the beginning, because if somebody sits here, they hear something, and there's a doubt comes. Okay, when they get the proper answer of their questions, that doubt is been removed. And that's the expertise of the speaker. Okay, that's his duty to remove the doubt. But in certain cases, if the doubt is not being removed, it's not the problem of the speaker, it's the problem of the person who is receiving the knowledge, because yet he's not been qualified. Okay, let me give you the example here. When we come in the beginning, and we have been asked to sit in the lecture, okay, we sit in the lecture, we hear, and we implement those instructions in our life. But if we don't engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, and we start to neglect the service, then there is a blockage, because Krishna removes the blockage from the heart, from the mind, only that much you can do the service. But when he sees that service is being done very nicely and please the authorities, then Krishna removes more ignorance from the heart, so you can understand the further knowledge. To understand the more deeper knowledge, you need to show him your endeavor, which Mother Yashoda did in this month. Okay, she did so much hard work to bind Krishna, but Acharya says she was always 2 fingers short. One was her endeavor, and second was Krishna's blessing. So his blessing is always there, but we lack to perform our endeavor to show him, yes, Krishna, I am really desperate to get you. I am doing so much hard work to gain your love. Kindly enthuse me with your blessings. So when we perform that and go far beyond our comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So we need to show him, okay, I am ready to give you, you become temple president, but you must have a certain qualification. It requires, because so much responsibilities are there. to hold that position. So there are so much responsibilities on the shoulder of a pure devotee, because he doesn't even just grab the knowledge and keep it himself, he spreads the knowledge. But if you don't have a knowledge and you sit on a very big, Vyasasana and start speaking people, then how are you going to transform their life? Knowledge means transformation, not only just gathering information. It also transform the life, transform the heart, transform our perception to see the world. So that's where our faith increases. That's where our faith increases. Like Shabd Brahma, okay? There is a Shabd Brahma which we just read. Like in the beginning, when we hear something which we are unknown to it, and when we practice, that Shabd Brahma, like this whole literature is Shabd Brahma, means they are in the words. When you hear something and you don't have experience. But when that instruction manifest in your life the way it has been said, that when you apply this, when you follow this, it will happen to you in the future. When you see that, then that's where the faith increases on Shabd Brahma. And that Shabd Brahma will help you to attain the Param Brahma. So that's why we need to have. There is a Prataksha Praman. Prataksha means I am directly seeing. That's what we see it. But we need to have the trust, because these words are not the words of any ordinary man. They are Apurusha. Apurusha means not made by any man. It is Sakshat Vedo Narayana Sakshat. It has come out of the word of Narayan. That's why you increase your faith. Yeah. But as Prabhu says, you need to have patience also. Nectar of instruction says, Utsahan, Dharya, Nishchayat. You need to have patience, you need to have determination, and wait for the right time to manifest in your life. Because we have been lost in this material world since time immemorial. And now we got a chance, and we want everything just to pour, in a 1 week or in a 10 years. Let's give it time. Because anything valuable, it takes time to manifest. So let the things grow naturally. I hope you're happy with the answer. Yeah? Anybody else has any questions? Prabhu.
What you just said reminded me of a verse in the Brahma Samhita. It's towards the end. I'm going to try and find it while I'm speaking. Where Krishna is telling Lord Brahma, like, the best way to progress spiritually. Just want to read it word for word.
Yeah, please go for it.
Yeah, this is really nice. I'll just read a couple of these verses. On here, because you were talking about the process of how this spiritual process is a slow progression. And so sometimes, like...
Yes, it's a gradual progression.
It's a gradual, not necessarily slow in some ways, but gradual progression, one way or the other, clearing out different aspects of the heart, understanding your true identity. So this is really nice. On hearing these hymns containing the essence of truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna said to Brahma, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create offspring by being endowed with the real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, listen, my beloved, from me to this science set forth in the following 5 shlokas. When the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, bhakti, super excellent, unalloyed devotion, characterized by love for Godhead, is awakened towards Krishna, the beloved of all souls. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization, with the help of spiritual evidence, or scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
It's 559, Brahma Samhita. Or 58. I guess I read 57 and 59.
Is it Shriya Kanta Kanta? Is it the one?
No, I think that's...
I think they are the last 3 verses are
That's
took.
Brahma's prayer right before Krishna says something.
Okay, yeah.
Like talking about how
No, it is there. It is all conclusion, but we need to understand our position and work on the ground first. Like, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsraya. They are the 6 enemies which are, stopping us to go, to move or proceed towards spiritual life. So we need to work on that one while, performing our devotional service. Because it's not we are going to impress somebody here or two opposite sex. We are only, going to impress one person, like two-person, you can say, Prabhupada and, Radha Krishna, because ultimately they are going to give us a reward at the end of our life, which is Ante Narayana Smriti. The more we spend our time in our service and spiritual practice, that time only save us at the end of our life. The more if we time spent outside in the material world, that will not take us anywhere. It will again bind us in this material world. Okay, I think it's 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, everybody, for your attendance. Srila Prabhupada ki